One thing I want to point out real quick is that if you look over here on the screen, you'll see the actual artwork that we created in AutoCAD and then generated the toolpath in in Aspire. You can actually look at it in some different views. Here you can see it in this view and then also in the toolpath view. This gives you a really good, got a lot of dust here from milling out. This gives you an idea of what your piece looks like, and it shows you where the origin point is. Okay, now let's screw down the piece. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put it basically right here, so I'm able to put it in. I've got a little impact driver, drills just fine, using a Robinson head screw. And I'll just come down here and screw it in. Doesn't have to be perfectly square because you're going to be cutting out in the center of the product and the center of the NDF here. I'm going to go ahead and screw this down. Okay, and like the old saying goes, you get it all held down really good. Okay. Okay, so the piece is down pretty good. You can probably clamp it down a little bit further, but like the old saying goes, you want to measure twice and cut once. Let me grab a tape measure real quick. And I'll measure my piece. Okay, 24 inches by 10 inches. A little bit bigger than 10. There we go, 10 inches. Perfect. That gives the size. We'll make sure that this is out of the way so it doesn't crash into the machine. In fact, I'm just going to put it out of the way completely over here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set what's called the offset. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this screw because it's right in the corner where that offset is. That's not good. So let's move that. That's a mistake I made. So I've got that a little bit out of the way. I'm just going to put it up here about this far, about an inch or so away. So this way the machine can be cornered, have the offset set on this corner, and it can move away safely. So let's do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my shift key down here, and I'm going to rapid the machine over to where it needs to be. Let me go ahead and go back to this screen here, double click, hold this, and wrap it over. Okay? So I'm bringing the machine over here. And remember we said the offset was going to be set on the top of the material. So I'm going to come over to this edge right there. And I'm going to go back this way. And I'm just going to walk it down, page it down to this part right here. Whoops, wrong way. And go down and just barely touch that surface. That's basically about where I want to be. Okay, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to set 0, 0, 0. So this is called your ref home all. I'm going to go to machine coordinates and set my machine origin at that corner where the offset is. So I'm going to go ref home all. I'm going to turn that back off, make sure everything's still set to 0. Come to offsets, save work offsets. I'm going to hit the select command and hit G54, which is always your system origin. Now you can change your system origin and have different offsets here, but for our purposes today we're just going to do that and hit OK. Now to test to see if that offset is in the correct location, I'm going to page up and I'm going to hold my shift key down and I'm going to zoom over here and I'm going to be about that far away, and then look up here on the screen. We're going to double check and see that we go to the correct offset by hitting Z. It's real important you do this little test. So it's going to raise the machine up and then go back to the 0, 0 location, and we are ready to go. So now to mill out your file, you're going to hit cycle start. If there is a problem in milling, you hit your escape key to stop it, and then you can go back to 0 and start over again or figure out what the problem is. So the first thing we need to do now is turn on the power. We'll turn the power on the router. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stop it because the tabs are not set low enough. But as you can see, the part got cut out pretty nice. I just need to come back here and sand the edges down to get rid of these fuzzies. So I can take a piece of sandpaper, if I have one here available, and I'll just sand off these edges and we'll clean up the part. We'll come back and look at that in a second. But that's our design that we created in AutoCAD.